Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be doing a few DIYs. As I had said before, we would use the leftover capsules from the Harry Potter MiniVerse potions, and we're going to use those to do a few other things with. So I have my MiniVerse potions up top, and I just have them displayed just with my other potions on their tables, so I'm not using these capsules that came with it. So these look like little or large potion bottles. Whenever you put them together, they have the cork and all that come with them. They do open here in the middle, but they also open at the top. So we are going to use these like regular potion bottles, and we are going to make stuff with them. We will not be doing anything liquid in them, and I also don't want to do anything heavy in them because they do come apart right here. If they're picked up by the top, I don't want it to all come out. I could glue these, I could tape these, but I'm not really that concerned about them because I'm just going to be using them for decorations on one of my shelves. I'm actually thinking I may put these on the shelf with my mandrake down here, and so it would just give some little colorful things on that shelf. Plus I can kind of make it look like it's something that we would use in herbology. So I may do some down there, and then I may take some of these and put them other places as well, but we'll see when we get to it. So the first thing that I did was go through everything that I have in my crafting corner and see what I have that I could use for these that wouldn't be extremely heavy or liquid. One of the things I came up with is when I made my gillyweed, I have some moss that I used. So this is my gillyweed. Inside it is some what they call reindeer moss. I found it at Dollar Tree. I do have some alcohol, and so that is what is making it liquid in there. But that is my gillyweed. So what I'm using for this capsule is the same moss that I have in here. To start with, I am actually going to take mine apart, and I am going to just take this reindeer moss, and I'm just going to start filling up the bottom part as best I can. You can go in at this from the top, but there's really not any real reason for it with this. I'm just going to do it this way. But when I get up to where I am going to the top, I don't want the moss to be in this little part right here that's closed. And so I'm going to close it up, and then I'll start putting the rest of it in through the top. Okay, so I don't want it to go around these edges at all. It can stack up as tall as it wants, but I don't want it on the outer edges. So I have to make sure it is pushed away from those to where it doesn't get caught when I am closing it up. So then I'm going to take the lid and just pop it right on there, but I'm gonna go around and make sure I don't have any sticking out, and I don't. So now I have this just like that. Now I can take the top of it and I can start going in from this angle and just poking it right down in there. This is just going to kind of help fill that little vacant area that's in there. And if you get to where you can't make it go or your pieces are too big, you can just take some scissors and just kind of poke it down in there. So now I'm just going to add a little bit more. And basically this is just all I have that's left over from, I think I ended up making like 3 of these. And so this is what was left over in the little bag from Dollar Tree. That was $1.25. Now I'm going to just take my scissors and just kind of poke it all down in there. Just kind of move it around on the edges good. Just to where it's kind of spread out in there and not all just clumped up in one little ball. I don't want a lot of the little areas to be left. Okay, now I have it all in there. Just kind of tucking it in good and getting it all off the top. Now we're going to take our cork that came with it and put it on there. So we do have this Hogwarts emblem on here. We can use this as the front, or if you don't want that to show, you can just turn it around, whatever you want to do. So the next thing we're going to use is twine. I have this really thick twine, and it came from Dollar Tree as well. I'm just going to take it and wrap it around the neck just to kind of give it an old look. I think I may leave some of this out because if we want to do a label, we can, or if we want to do a tag, tells us what it is, we can do that also. And I'm just squishing it down on here pretty good and just going right between here and the lid. I'm just going to leave some of this off to where I can tie that. So I'm just going to tie a little knot here. Just kind of double knot it to where it's tied together. So now I just have a little bit left out here for if I want to tie a little tag on it. If you don't want to add a tag, you can simply take this and just kind of do it like you would if you were making a bow and just bunch up some extra and just take it and tie it on here. So I just took it and just put it up against there and just tied one more other little knot. Just almost gives it a little bow look. And I think that's really all I'm going to do with this one. I think I'm just going to kind of leave it this way, not really do anything big with it. I do have a few more that we're going to do. So I'm just actually putting mine right over the top of the little Hogwarts symbol. And I'm just going to put it down here. My mandrake has the earmuffs over the top, and then I just have that little reindeer moss down there beside it. It's not really anything big, but you can use these to just hold your extra ingredients and stuff with that you use for DIY potions. I think it's great. So the next one that we're going to do is actually something I used and made from packing material. And so we're going to take some black and brown markers, or you can use paint if you want to. We're going to cut this in strips, and we're going to actually make this look like snakeskin. So we're just going to take one of these pieces and we're just going to lightly pull it, stretch it out. And while you're doing it, you'll just kind of be popping the little bubbles as you go. But you're just kind of stretching it to give it this off look. You don't want it to look like it's all uniform like it is when you get it. So just lightly pull it. If you pull it too hard, it's going to come apart. We don't want that. So each one of my bubbles is now popped. I can't feel anymore. And it just has this little weird look to it. But this is what we're actually going to use for our snakeskin. So this is going to be the next ingredient that we're going to put in here. And we're just going to paint it brown, black, gray, whatever color you think it should be. Don't make it real dark and thick looking, because snakeskin isn't. It has a transparent look to it. So anything you do, you want it to just be real light. So this is what we have. Here's one of the pieces. I just did this one a dark brown. Just kind of take it and just lightly put paint on it. I ended up just using an acrylic paint. This one is the black. You can see that you can see through it. It's shiny because I'm under a light. It's not really that shiny in person, but you can just kind of see that it's just taking it and just put it all over it, but not thick. This is like a light tan color. Some of them are really long, but some of my pieces are really small and thin, and that's what a snake skin would be like too. They wouldn't all be uniform and perfect most of the time. Sometimes you can find them pretty long and together, but a lot of times by the time people find them, they're just kind of like this. They're just kind of torn and tattered and no real reason. So the next thing we're going to do is take our next one, and I have it taken apart because this one I'm just going to kind of take them and ball them up together. I don't really mind that I have all different colors in this because that's what I want. You could do them all one color if you wanted to. This is yours, so you do you. There's no rhyme or reason for the way this goes. So I'm just taking it and just kind of wrapping them around each other and just forming this little ball. I want my ball to be a little bit big because I want it to basically fill up the capsule. You don't have to. You can do just some in the bottom. You can do just a few pieces, however you want to do it. This is just one that I wanted to do because I haven't done a potion with my snake skin yet, and I haven't done a bottle for my snake skins. So I'm just putting them all in here for now until I get to it. This is kind of what I have right now. So I'm just taking them and putting them in a ball in this. Again, I don't want them to get trapped in the edges. So I'm just going to poke them in and make sure that they are not in the lip of it before I snap it closed. So now you can see that I have these snake skins in here. I have some other little pieces that I'm just going to take my scissors and just kind of push them in there. I'm just putting them on the top and just kind of pushing them down. These are a lot of the little pieces that when I was pulling it, it actually just kind of tore, and that's great. That's fine. They're different colors and different sizes. Some of these you may not even need something to help push it down. You may just be able to, if your fingers are small enough, you may be able to get them all in there. Okay, now I'm going to take my scissors and just kind of push them around just to kind of make it look like it's filling up the capsule. Or they're not capsules now, are they? They are actually potion bottles. And so I'm going to put the top on it. And that is what we have. Now I'm going to take the twine again. I have a different twine over here. It's a little bit thinner. I'm going to do it the same way though. I'm just going to leave part of this out. And just take it and just completely wrap it around the bottle and just keep going up with it. So I'm starting at the bottom of the neck and I'm just going up. And as I go up high, I'm just going to take my fingernails or fingers and push it down just to where we get a really thick wrapping around it. We don't have any space between the pieces, between the pieces of twine. So that looks good. Just going to take it and cut it off again. And I'm going to take this one and do the same thing. I'm just going to take the two ends, tie them together. You can do this and do your ends underneath to where you don't have the knot on top and you don't have any pieces sticking out. That's fine. Again, this is yours, you do you. And so this is what I'm doing with mine. And I don't have a label or a tag that I want to put on this one either. So I think I'm just going to take this and turn it around backwards on mine. And I think I may even just cut these pieces off. That way it's just kind of a flat look to it. That's going to be in the back, so you're not going to see that knot. So I think I'm just going to leave mine like this. Now I may make a label or a tag to put on this that says snakeskin. But for now, I think I'm just going to leave it because, again, this is just my extra ingredients. It's not really my actual potions. Yes, you would want a label on your ingredients to tell you what your ingredients are. But for what I'm using it for right now, I know what it is, so it doesn't really matter to me. But again, in another DIY, we may add tags or labels. So I just put it down there as well. I think you can kind of see that a little bit, but we'll do a closer image of it later. We have the next one. So with this one, I actually have these little styrofoam balls left over, and I don't really use them for anything, but I just have these left over, and to me, these just kind of say bazaars, and I only have 3 of these. They came in a bag like this from Dollar Tree, and so I just have a few of them. So I'm just going to take them and put them in here. I don't really like having crafting stuff open like this that I just leave because, one, see on the edges of it how the styrofoam just kind of like breaks up and you get that little snowy looking stuff everywhere. So if I put these in here, then I actually wouldn't have that stuff everywhere. So now I can just throw that bag away and I can put these in here. And I'm just going to put the lid back on these. I only have 3, but if I did any more crafting with these and I had some more, I could end up putting them in there as well. So now we're just going to take these, and I actually have this little sticker. I bought a bunch of little vinyl stickers off of Amazon, and they had like these little ingredient and potion labels and stuff in them when I bought them. I'll try to find them and link them below, but it had all different things in there. So I just took my scissors and started just kind of cutting along this line where it looks like it's old and aged, and now I'm just going to cut this bottom one off as well. And it's not a straight edge, which is good because I don't cut straight lines very well, but we're just going to take it and just kind of cut this out, just kind of following that trim. And if it's not exactly perfect, it doesn't matter. It just kind of looks old and aged and just kind of like that. But it does say bazaars, and so I think it will be perfect. And I think I'm just going to, I don't think I'm going to try to put it on there as a label just because it's hard to get labels to lay flat on these rounded type things. So I think what I'm going to do is just make it into a hang tag. And so let's go ahead and put some twine around this one. And I'm going to leave extra out on this one as well because I do know for a fact that I'm going to use this as to hang my tag on. Okay, so we got it wrapped around there. Now I'm just going to cut my extra off. I'll leave a good little bit on the end, especially when I know I'm going to put them on there. However, I'm thinking now that I'm doing it, that I may make a little adjustment to this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and tie my knot. Just going to tie my knot, and I'm just going to leave my extra pieces hanging out. But I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and cut an extra piece because I think I want my tag to hang down. If you don't have a hole punch, you can just use scissors. Just very carefully make you a little hole in the side. So now I have a hole in there. And I think what I'm going to do is actually take this and run it through that hole. I really kind of want this to lay flat. So I just took it and did it in half and then pushed this end through. And now I'm going to take it and just kind of loop it up through here. Be real careful not to break the corner of your tag off, but leave it loose to where it's just kind of wrapping around this edge here. And now my tag should hang fairly flat. So then I can take it and wrap it around here. I'm going to go underneath. I'm going underneath my actual piece here, and I'm just going to tie it back here in the back. So as you can see, it can kind of wiggle and move up here. And that's what I want because I want mine to lay down. I don't want it to just be up. I just kind of put mine over on this side that way. And now with your cording around your neck, you can move this piece to be wherever you want it to. So if you want it to show up, you can put it over the top of your label. So I think I'm just going to leave my ends on there. Again, you can put them to the back if you want to. You can take them off however you want to. Yeah, there's my bazaars. So I'm going to put it down here as well. And so if you saw my actual potions that I put together, you will know so far I only have 4 of them because my others were duplicates and I haven't been able to find any locally that are not the ones I already have. So I did order some online. They did send them to me and they ended up being duplicates to the ones that I had. I could see by the little cheat codes that I was able to find online that the little pinholes show which potion it is. So I ended up opening 2 duplicates before I knew about the actual little cheat codes. And then after I found out, I knew that the other ones that they had sent me weren't, so I was able to send those back. So in the meantime, I just have these 4. So right now, we are just going to be doing those. So the next one I'm going to do is actually another moss of a sort. I have another big bag of this Spanish moss. And I really like the color that it's the green, and I'm hoping that the green actually helps pull the shelf out because I really don't have anything down here except for my mandrake, and so I really want some more color. So we're going to take out a good amount of this Spanish moss. This is a giant bag that came from Walmart, and it actually says it is preserved Spanish moss. And so I got this, and I've used a lot of this for different things. So yeah, we're going to take some of this out and put it in the next one. We're going to do this one just like we have done the other ones. We're going to actually take it apart, and I'm going to just take a whole big ball of this and just fill it up and then put the top on it. And then any extras that we have, we're going to just poke into the top. This Spanish moss was actually easier to do because it was able to be balled up pretty good to where I could just put a whole bunch in there. And I really don't feel like I need to add any more to the top. I still have this giant bag left of it. Like I said, this stuff goes a long way. So if you're doing things like this, one of these big bags will last you forever. So now I'm going to take what I have left of this little thin twine, and we're going to wrap the top of it. I don't have a whole lot of this left, so I think I may just keep going with this and just kind of wrap it back down a little bit. But yeah, I just went up with it and then back down, and it's okay. It doesn't have to look perfect. And so I'm just going to put this around the back. Actually, I think I'm just going to leave it around front. I kind of like the little rusticy look of it, just kind of being around front like that. So I think I'm just going to leave mine on there and just put this one also on the shelf. And here we have our DIY Harry Potter MiniVerse potion bottles that we have left over, the capsules that we have now made into actual ingredient containers. And this is just down here with my mandrake. So what did you do with yours? Did you make anything different with them? What would you do different? Yeah. With that being said, we hope you have a wonderful day. And remember, we love you.